Alright, well hello. Today's music lesson is going to be more on ear training, specifically on perfect pitch and relative pitch. So stick around for that. But first, if you don't know me by now, I'm Donald Witt, the bass instructor of the How to Play Bass online course at iwanttoPlayBass.com. Jump over there, subscribe, become a member for free, and when you're serious about your bass playing and reaching your goals, sign up and you'll be well on your way to reaching those goals. And if you're new to my channel here, subscribe, hit that bell notification, get in the loop, don't miss a beat. Lots of bass guitar tips, bass guitar lessons, and bass guitar gear reviews, and it's all about the bass. So you definitely want to get in there. If you're an aspiring bassist or exceptional bassist, jump in there. Okay, well let's get into it. Perfect pitch and relative pitch. Now, is there a difference between the two? There definitely is a difference between the two. But first, I'll give you the definition of each. So perfect pitch is being able to know exactly what note you're hearing at any given moment, any given note, and being able to produce that note at any moment and any time. Like say, if a D flat's being played, I'll know automatically if I had perfect pitch that that's a D flat. Regardless of anything around, I'll be able to know every time that D flat is played that that's a D flat. Regardless of anything, it'll automatically be a D flat, and will automatically be able to produce that D flat. I can sing that D flat instantaneously, and that's having perfect pitch. Now, relative pitch is different because it's the ability, you need a reference point to do relative pitch. You need to know, you need to have either an A or a C or a D to define which note is being played and to reference that off of. So that's the difference between the two. Now, can you develop these two skills? You can definitely develop relative pitch. It's a lot easier and it can be learned. But perfect pitch, and also known as absolute pitch, is something that 1 in every 10,000 people are born with, but it is rare to have perfect pitch. But there are believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there with perfect pitch, and it's pretty amazing stuff what they can do. Now, there are studies that have been done that say that perfect pitch can be learned, but it's not to the extent of somebody that's born with the perfect pitch. And these studies took place and had to take place on children at an early age, or as early as 9 years old. They had to start this process in training to develop this perfect pitch, and they were able to retain it to where 3 months later they could come back and hear, they could define that that's an A flat, but not to the extent of just naturally go and automatically just pull this A flat out of the air and produce that A flat just to go tune your guitar off of just by knowing it. So there's several different degrees of perfect pitch. Now, to some people, with the different degrees of perfect pitch, to some people it's almost a curse. It's annoying. They can hear every little thing that's out of tune, and it just annoys them. And it's sometimes it's hard to cope with, hard to deal with people to that extent of perfect pitch. But other people are able to use it to their benefit, and their perfect pitch isn't as dialed in to where they can use reference points, and it helps them. And most of them have become musicians, and it helps them to another level of expertise there, having that ability. But to some people it's annoying, and it's hard to deal with. It's like color. And we see colors, we know automatically that's green or that's red. And it's the same way with perfect pitch. People hear a tone and they know automatically that tone, no matter how it's hit or what it's off of, that they know what note that is, or they can call that out as a note immediately. And something amazing. But it's definitely, it's kind of the same thing. You just, instead of using your eyes, you're using your ears. So that's a couple different degrees to the extent of perfect pitch in some people that are born with it. Now, relative pitch, like I said, you can definitely learn relative pitch, and almost every musician has developed to a degree of relative pitch. If they practice vigorously on ear training, then they can learn it to a very, very good degree, to where you can play chords and you can pick out every note in that chord. And just depending on how hard they've practiced is to the extent of their relative pitch. which is very useful in music as well, having that. And it's something that I definitely offer in my iwanttoplaybase.com course. It's ear training. There's an ear training section in there to help develop your ear training, because it is possible. And you know, it doesn't matter. You can always develop your ears no matter what age. We're perfect pitch. As you get older, your hearing goes a little bit, so they say that they lose the perfect pitch as those people that have perfect pitch get older. As they age, they tend to lose the perfect pitch just by a half step or so. It goes flat. But yeah, the relative pitch, you can learn that at 80 years old. You can learn that at any age, because it's mainly vibrations. It's all about vibrations, and you can feel vibrations in your body. You don't have to hear them, you can feel them. But you know, you definitely, it makes it, you know, it's better to know them when you can hear. It's like Beethoven, when he before he finally finished his last symphony, he had gone deaf. So he had to hear that. He had to hear it in his head to be able to write this out, but he could never hear it played back at him. So it's, like I say, it's not that that's, you know, has anything to do with the vibrations or anything, but you know, another amazing trait. Now that's what we'll get into next, is the famous people that have perfect pitch that you know of, that you might not have known had perfect pitch. Now, you know, back in the day we had the classical Beethoven, perfect pitch. Mozart's definitely known for his perfect pitch. He had an extreme ability of perfect pitch, being the child prodigy that he was, starting out at such an early age. And then there was Chopin as well, had perfect pitch. A lot of the classic composers back in the day had it. Handel had another composer that had perfect pitch. And more recent, you know, in our modern era, they have Mariah Carey had perfect pitch, and Michael Jackson had perfect pitch. They claim that Jimi Hendrix had it because the story of him going in, he didn't have a tuner to tune his guitar, but he'd go to the music shop and he'd play a guitar that was in tune, and then he'd go back home and tune his guitar to that. So that's an extent of perfect pitch. You know, whether it's, you know, it didn't seem like he was known for the perfect pitch, but that's an ability there. There's an extent of perfect pitch there as well. So we had Jimi Hendrix possibly, and Bing Crosby had perfect pitch. So there you have it. Some big differences between relative pitch and perfect pitch. Some people might consider them to be the same thing, but they are far from the same thing. Like I say, perfect pitch, you're born with it. Few people are born with it. It's somewhat rare, and it's just the ability to just at any moment know an A flat, sing an A flat, sing an A, sing a B, sing a C. At any moment can hear that tone and just pull it out of midair, and can produce that tone at a moment, at any given time. And relative pitch is more as needing a reference point, kind of like tuning your guitar. You need an A, you tell the pianist, give me an A, and they give you an A, and then you tune to that A. So that's an example of relative pitch. And it can definitely be learned. Your ears can be developed to get better and better, and you need to practice at it like everything else. So hopefully you got some value out of that. If you did, help me help you. Hit that like button, and I'll catch you all on the flip-flop in the next video. So bye now.